Britain in summertime. It's blowing an absolute gale. But what do you do in Britain in summertime? Come to the beach and have a look at the pier. So I'm in Southport. Not been here for years, not since I was a kid. Well, I've driven through, but I've not been on the beach. So I did a bit of research and looked at the pier, and I used I mentioned the app before, Photo Pills. So I used the Photo Pills app, and I know the sun is going to go down more or less at the end of. So this is the other thing on the beach. There's guys driving up and down, trying to do donuts. Rather than it's not going to do the car any good. But I used Photo Pills app to calculate the sun's going to go down kind of towards the end of the pier. The only problem is, got here and the pier's closed. So I'm having a look at it from kind of beach level, but then I'm going to go and see if I can take a photograph of the sun going down at the end of the pier through the fence, but we'll see how it goes. But I can't really get a composition here, so I'm going to go and have a look under the pier, see what that's like, and then hang around until the sun's in the right spot, and then try and peek through the fence. I've come to the other side of the pier. I just couldn't get any composition over the other side, and I had a look underneath, but couldn't really get a composition there. So I've come to the other side, and apparently there's deep mud. So come to the other side and I'm trying to get a composition. I quite like the fact there's this, I don't know what you'd call it, pavilion or something here, and the sun is just over the end of the pier from this angle. So I'll show you the composition I'm working on. It's going to be a bit kind of angular, for want of a best phrase, so nothing special, I don't think. What I'm trying to do is just go for a silhouette, so the pier looks like a silhouette. So I'm on F9 and I've focused on I don't know what you call it, pavilion. It's a kind of sitting area, shelter maybe, but I focus on that, but I'm actually trying to concentrate on the sky, so I'm not really bothered that the pier is really dark, and you can only make out the silhouette. Just the sky's quite nice. Some lovely clouds over that way. That was all over here. It's quite a strong wind, so it's all kind of blown over. But there's more clouds blowing up on the horizon, so I might take a couple here, and then I'm going to try and poke my camera through the gates. I don't. Why does the pier close? So I'm going to try and poke my camera through the gates and see if I can take one along the pier, because it's quite nice lines. But take one here, and then let's go and see if I can fit my lens through the gates. Not very positive, is it? These are the gates I came to. So I don't think I've had a more awkward positioning of a camera in a while. It looks like a drunken giraffe, kind of legs splayed. But I'll show you what I'm trying to get. So hopefully you can see, looking down the pier, if the sun was setting right at the end, but it's not because of the clouds, be quite a nice composition. What I was hoping to do is come and stand somewhere just under one of these kind of light fittings and take a view, but the gate's closed, so got to poke my lens through here. So I'll show you the composition. So I'll brighten that so you can see, but looking right down the pier, I focused right at the very end because I'm not really bothered, but these tracks from the tram are quite attractive leading into the distance. The plan was get the setting sun right at the very end, so not going to happen this evening because the clouds have come over, but hopefully you can see what the idea was. So I'm going to take some images anyway. I'll just get the exposure right, take it a little bit darker than that, and you can see I'm working on these kind of lines heading right into the center of the frame. So you know, not a terrible composition, but but it's not it's not easy when you've got the camera poked through the gate. So I'm going to have a little bit of a tootle around and see what I can come up with. I might go further down, back down the pier, see what it looks like. That feels like a bit of a waste of time. Took me an hour to drive up here to Southport. I'm not sure I said I was in Southport earlier on. But yeah, Southport's just north of Liverpool. Took me about an hour. And I've just driven under the pier. In fact, I thought I could get some good shots of the pier, but two things conspired against me. Clouds came over and spoiled the sunset, and the pier's locked, which it's July. It's the height of the summer season, and the pier's locked. Does Southport not want visitors to come and spend time enjoying themselves? Just bizarre. So anyway, I've got an hour's drive home. So what I'm thinking of doing is got to go through Liverpool to get home. So I might pop into Liverpool and see if any of the buildings, like the Pier Head, Liver Building or St George's Hall, are lit up. I know they were lit up a couple of days ago for the Pride Festival, so I'm going to go and have a look and maybe get some nighttime shots of that. And if not done much today. Well, I'm at St George's Hall in the centre of Liverpool. It took me about an hour to drive down from Southport, and it's lit up. So it's been Liverpool Pride this weekend. So St George's Hall is lit up in the rainbow colours, which is fantastic, looks great. Those of you who don't know Liverpool, St George's Hall, amazing building. It's appeared in lots of films as well, so Indiana Jones and I think Harry Potter and stuff like that. But as you can see, quite impressive. Hope you can see that properly. And what I'm working on, trying to get an image of the, hope you can see me actually, an image of the hall with all the colours displayed. So I'll go onto Liveroom and show what you're doing. I've got to do a panorama. So obviously I can't fit the whole hall in at once from here, and other than standing over the other side of the road, there's these railings here which I couldn't do, so and buses and whatnot. So I'm going to try from here and take an image like that, take one and then two and see how it goes. I'm on f9 because the depth of field's not important. It's given me an exposure of 4 seconds, but I'm just underexposing a little bit so that I capture the colours and I can always bring them back in Lightroom. What I don't want to do is overexpose and burn out things like the lamps, for example, and make it impossible. So try and get it all in. Sorry about the noise of the buses going past. But yeah, pretty impressive. I'm not sure, can I fit that all in? I might just move back a little bit. Sorry, shouldn't do this, should I? Kind of one-handed. Move back a little bit. See if I can get that all in one fell swoop. Just at a bit of a jaunty angle, like that. And just tighten that off. And away we go. So 4 second exposure. And what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to actually go up onto under the columns and see if I can take some photos along there. I was going to take a photo because there's quite an impressive guy on a horse, but someone stuck a portaloo there, so not great. But believe it or not, that's student accommodation. It's quite impressive, isn't it? But then so is Liverpool. So I hope you can see me. I'm stood right in the middle of the hall, right in front of the middle of the hall, looking at the Earl of Beaconsfield. And what I'm trying to do is get a photo, an image of him with some of the columns on either side. Now he's quite dark, but there's a big display down there, and every now and then it turns to a white kind of advert. So I'm trying to time it. So I'll show you the image I'm looking at. You can hopefully see the columns rising up and him in the middle. But I'm waiting for that to turn white to provide a bit of light on him. It's kind of a bluey at the moment. But I hope you get the gist of what I'm trying to achieve. but I've got to get the timing right with that. So I'm looking at him and waiting for a bit of illumination on just the side of him. But I quite like the composition. So, you know, he's slap bang in the middle, and then the columns kind of run up at the side, almost kind of. Oh, there we go. So there you go. See, that bright light is shining on him now. So hopefully, let's have a look how that turned out. Yeah, you can hopefully see. I'll zoom in a little bit. Hopefully, see that the light was showing on him. Quite pleased with that. It's like a extra bit of light for me. I'm not sure I'm going to get much more, but I'm going to have a little bit of an explore around and kind of maybe stand up at the side and see what happens. Unfortunately, there's these kind of tent things here, which are a bit distracting. But yeah, quite enjoying it. Quite enjoying it. Right, I've come up on the steps, which in Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade doubled as Berlin. But what I'm working on is a portrait with the Earl of Beaconsfield and then the columns in the background. And I'm really grateful for that sign because it's shining some light onto the Earl of Beaconsfield every now and then. So there we go, look at that perfect example. So he's really well lit up now. And I'll show you the composition I'm working on. I've gone portraits because obviously he's there, but hopefully you can see the columns and kind of the sense of the lines converging into the bottom corner. There we go, he's lit up again, so I'm going to take another image. It's a pity about those tent things. I wish they were out of the way. But I'm quite pleased with that composition. I can't get. Can I get that a little bit? Let's try that, and shouldn't really do that. Seems to be working well. If that light wasn't there, if that light wasn't lighting up, it'd be a real problem. But yeah, it's working for me. So thankfully. So gonna have a little bit of a play. Well, I think I'm all done. I've muddled down the steps a bit, but I couldn't get a composition better than the one with the Earl in the portrait. Have I just gone really yellow? So when I first started talking to you today, I was up in Southport and wasn't working out very well, but took a bit of a gamble because I didn't know whether these lights were going to be on, but I needed to come through Liverpool anyway to get home, so it was worth popping in. Great to see these colours and to get a few nice compositions. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's kind of two halves to one trip, and be interested in any comments, likes, subscriptions or whatever, and I'll see you again on the next one. Cheers, bye.